I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the Federal Court of Canada. So, if you have found my video online, you probably wonder about the judicial review procedure. What is a judicial review? This is a process in court when the court is actually revising the correctness of a certain decision of a certain board, or tribunal, or commission, or whatever the case might be, how the decision was made. If you talk about all sorts of immigration matters, these issues are handled only in the Federal Court of Canada. This is the only court of Canada that can handle these type of questions. Now, before you start, you probably ask yourself all the right questions. How do I start? How do I get it all right? How do I go about the whole process? Should I represent myself? Should I opt for a lawyer? These are all nice questions, but that's all not relevant. These questions are all wrong. The thing is, if you want to be a winner, simply don't start. I will talk a little bit more in my next videos and in my blog about other methods how to get your final destination right. But don't start to be a winner. This is not a matter of numbers and statistics. The numbers look good. Actually, each year around 20 to 25% of applications are granted a leave. That is, the judge is allowing you to represent the case in the court. After you're granted a leave, you can be optimistic and hope that you can have 50-50% chance of success. But this is all not relevant. Look it in the eye. There are really good chances that you are not some stupid moron who cannot download documents correctly and who cannot fill in the blanks in the correct form. If you are, you're fine. Just go ahead with the review, you'll be just fine. If not, you are running a really good chance that your application were denied because of some way more serious and way more deep and nasty reason. And you might not be aware of that. And what is most important, you are not to blame for it. This is how government works. You are not that naive to believe, actually believe, not to act like you are believing that there are skeletons only in humans' closets, right? And you don't really take the whole transparency thing for real granted thing. If your case was denied like in the second option I've described, this is the time to start worrying about your mentality and to start taking care about your sanity. Because if this is the case, your persona, I highlight here, you personally, not your single case, will be assigned a security intelligence guy to act as a manager. Of course, you will not be made aware of that. It will all look like you're dealing with the Federal Court of Canada, with their registry, with the Department of Justice, and those guys will bring you to the edge of the sanity. These guys don't play nicely. There is not an even field. The fairy tale of equal rights for everyone does not work here. This is not Canada, forget it. And this is the time where the first real question that you have to ask yourself pops up. Do you have it in you to handle that amount of pressure, very subtle, very non-obvious psychological pressure, and are you able to handle the amount of injustice and unfairness? And even if you can, ask yourself, do you want to subject yourself to that? If talking about these types of cases, it is a norm in the registry not to accept documents that completely conform to the rules. It is okay to say, there is no basis for lie in the law, and I cite here a real legal document that was later on approved by the court. And these small and tiny things go on and on and on. And the truth is, these guys don't play games, they do their job. They are a bunch of assholes, but I have to admit, they do their job of messing up the whole process, and they do their job of freaking you out completely very, very well. Of course, if you go for a judicial review, you will come out of it a much stronger person. But still you will not be a winner. You will have much more knowledge, very deep and serious knowledge, but ask yourself, do you want to have it? This is a heavy burden to carry, and you don't have to answer me. Tell yourself the truth and be honest. Take me for instance. If 5 years ago or so you would have told me that I'm an average Joe, I would have, feel insulted, but somewhere deep down myself I say, well, yes, to a certain extent I am, we all are, I am tougher than some and then softer than the others, and that's okay. But look at me today. All of a sudden, I found myself a girl who fights this big and nasty and mighty government machine, and this is no fun. I was not asked what I want to do. I were put in a situation where I had to act. No one was thinking, shall I not? I simply had. But now if you have a chance to ask yourself all those questions, you have an option to choose, and you have to consider it. Think about your friends and family. Think about how they see you and how they will see you once you start telling them the truth. And the truth is that there are no butterflies and unicorn fairy tales in this fucked up machine. No, this does not work like that. In Canada, things work differently. How much do they have to support you? How long are they willing to stand behind you if you are telling these kind of things? How much do you have in yourself to handle that? Now, you are not me, and you have a choice. So you think carefully to which test you want to put your sanity. Now, the final question, and I sense it right through the skin. I hear you asking it, I see it in your eyes. Why in the world did you decide that you can do the job of a lawyer who has spent years in college, who has been working for years to gain the experience to work in the court and to handle these cases? That's how he makes his living, and he's much smarter than you are. Well, there are two simple things. One, I did talk to a lawyer. Not a one lawyer, I've talked to many Canadian lawyers. And that was fun. The second, I'll tell you later on. Now, think carefully and have a good one.